up, YouTube? So we got another unboxing and review to do today. This is the Recess International Diplomat. This is the signature yo-yo of Mr. Colin Beckford, as you can see right there. Recess Diplomat. Recess Diplomat. If you haven't seen Colin throw, you need to go YouTube that, because Colin's awesome. So, this is Colin's signature yo-yo. It is the Recess Diplomat. Let's take it out of the box. And within the box is a yo-yo in this cool purple with like a green splash. I don't know what this is called. Scary Berry? Something like that. Grass comes in the box with yo-yo string. That's the original string in the box, I think. At least that's the one that was in there when I got it from S.W. Randall. This is on loan to me from my good friends at S.W. Randall Toys in downtown Pittsburgh, where they have all this awesome stuff, including the a full line of Recess yo-yos, including the Diplomat. So, as far as the box is concerned, let me know what you guys think of unboxings, because this was in a case. I put it back in a box. I'm taking it out. I just kind of wanted to show you the packaging, really. I kind of wish they'd have put the sticker in the box and just the box would have said Recess or something. I wish I could have stuck the sticker on something rather than the sticker being on the box. But, I mean, I didn't buy the yo-yo, so it's not, you know, it's on loan to me. So, this is the Diplomat. This yo-yo is really cool, but before we get into that, let's talk about the specs. Diameter of this yo-yo, 56.37 millimeters. The width is 42.7 millimeters. The gap width is 4.5 millimeters. It weighs 64.7 grams. It is made out of 70-75 aluminum, and comes with the center track grooved bearing or whatever they call it. I don't think they actually do center track. Comes with the standard 19mm response pads as well. So, this yo-yo is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. It's basically, in my opinion, sort of the 70-75 version of what the Too Hot would be. Like if you shaved off some weight but kept all the rim weight and just kind of, you know, made it to benefit from the 70-75 aluminum. So, 70-75 aluminum is heavier, is generally more expensive aluminum, but if you use it right, which they did on this yo-yo, you can still get powerful spins out of yo-yos, but bring the weight down a little bit, because you can pack a lot more weight into the rims by using less material, because it's a more dense, heavier material, and you can make the everything going up to the rims a little bit thinner as well, without risk of like it cracking and what have you. So a solid use of 70-75 aluminum. Didn't just use it to make the yo-yo heavier, actually used it to bring, you know, keep the weight kind of cut down, but still give it a powerful spin. So, the first thing that comes to mind when you play this yo-yo is that it's very controllable. You've got a lot of control. It can go fast because it's kind of light, but, you know, for your techie stuff or it's just, you know, learning stuff, it's got a long spin, and it's very controllable and in that regard. So, really cool weight distribution as far as that's concerned. It's this kind of rounded over H shape, but it's very much like they've got this groove carved out in for your finger. That's pretty cool. This is a blasted one. It comes in blasted and like polished. I opted to review a blasted one. A pretty good blasted finish for a 70-75 yo-yo as far as the material is concerned. 70-75 is usually a little tougher to get a good blast finish on, but they did a really nice job with this one. I also really like the splash color here. Now, this yo-yo retails at $70. Now, $70 for, and even with the splashed one too, $70 for a 70-75 aluminum yo-yo with a splash on it and some, you know, decently tasteful laser engravings there. It really just says Colin Beckford Diplomat. No extra stuff on it. And you can get the other one, the solid colors have even like less laser engraving on them. So I like that Recess kind of keeps that to a minimum. $70 price point's a very premium price point. Puts you up there with CLYW stuff. But I think it's not a bad price for this one at all. I actually think that this is a pretty solid yo-yo at 70 bucks. I'd rather have it on a discount, but, you know, 70 bucks, you know, hard to complain about it. But let's throw it around a little bit. I've got a string on it. Let's throw it around a little bit, and I'll show you what it does. All right, guys, we are back. Show this to you in some sunlight here instead of just that desk lamp. As you can see, the purple is pretty awesome purple. And the splash looks really good, too. Pretty simple shape as far as all that's concerned. Nothing too fancy. But throw's really powerful. Like, you can feel this thing like kind of, how do I put it? It kind of almost plays a little bit like, you know, real stable, kind of like those bimetals that I did with the rings on the sides, because you kind of feel the rim weights like in a little bit, or like it goes like this far. So it's kind of a thicker rim, so you kind of feel that like there's a lot of weight in the thick rim, which I feel like increases the stability. But the yo-yo is pretty average sized, so you know, it'll kind of do whatever you want it to do and fit wherever you need it to fit, which is definitely nice. And it's kind of a good all-around yo-yo for that kind of stuff. Like, it's not specifically made for any one thing, and it kind of does a lot of things really, really well. And I feel like that's kind of what Recess tries to do. They don't have a ton of releases, but every yo-yo they have is really good, and every yo-yo they have, you know, would basically work for you, whether you want it for competition or for, you know, just throwing around at your house, which is clearly what I'm doing with it. So the grind finish on this, pretty decent. It's you know, not the best thing. I wouldn't say it's its best feature, but the blasted ones grind pretty decently. I'd put it on the level of like some of those like older, like the more decent yo-yo factories, and this is 70-75 aluminum, which is a lot harder to get a good grind finish on. So you know, it's absolutely good in that regard. And yeah, as far as thumb grinds are concerned, you could do them, but the lip doesn't. You kind of have to throw it on an angle because the lip kind of doesn't really facilitate it. So not going to be the best for thumb grinds. I don't think everybody does thumb grinds anymore, though, so it's probably not a big deal. Spins forever. Came back real hard. As far as finger spins are concerned, I kind of like it for finger spins, actually. That finger spin's pretty good, in my opinion. Little the little cup in there. You can catch your finger around the edge there, and it's nice and blasted in there and smooth, so you kind of finger spin really well. You're not going to get super long ones out of it, but you can definitely get some decent finger spins out of it. I totally threw into a knot. But yeah, so there it is on the string. Like I said, just a solid all-arounder. So let's take it back to the desk. We'll compare it to a couple other yo-yos, and I'll give you the final pros and cons. Alright guys, so we are back at the desk here. So just to kind of give it a little comparison, like I said, it's very much kind of like the Too Hot. It plays very much like the Too Hot. Shape is very much like the Too Hot. Too Hot's a little bit bigger and heavier, but it's like they kind of shrunk it down but kept a lot of the rim weight. It kind of has that sort of a play to it, but a little bit faster. So here it is next to the Too Hot. And very, you know, comparable inner cup to the Komodo. But as you can see, the diameter is bigger. Pretty close to the same width, though. So, you know, Recess seems to have found a sweet spot as far as the width is concerned, and this cup shape seems to work out for them with a few tweaks here and there. So, pretty cool, though. You can kind of tell that it's a Recess because of the cup shape. So, definitely a cool cup shape. Looks good. Very just kind of classy and even with the cuts and stuff there. So, good looking yo-yo all around. As far as the pros are concerned, like I said, 70-75 aluminum. Price at only $70 with a splash for the 70-75 aluminum yo-yo isn't bad. As far as that stuff's concerned, I wouldn't call it like a budget price, but it's, you know, it's okay. The grind finish is pretty nice, considering the type of material it's made out of. Finger spins pretty decently, like I showed you. Thumb grind lip, I mean, you could do it if you threw it on an angle a little bit more. I don't know how many people are into that. I haven't seen many other people do it, but much lately. But, you know, you could do it. It's kind of a cool thing, I think. But it's just not as easy as some other yo-yos would be. But that's, I mean, you probably don't care. Let me know in the comments if you give a crap about thumb grind lips. But anyway, other than that, the only cons that I would really give it is at a $70 yo-yo, and I haven't pulled this apart, and we just kind of pulled this out of the case, It's got a little bit of vibe, like detectable on my fingernail, just a touch. You know, nothing bad, but my Komodo is like dead smooth. And this one's not exactly there. I mean, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Vibe doesn't really bother me much. But this one's got a little bit of vibe, and a lot of the ones I've played with have had they have a bunch of them in the case. A little, like a hint of vibe, just a very, very hairline amount. So we'll say maybe like 8 out of 10 smoothness, which is not bad. But you know, at $70, you kind of, you know, at that point you're sort of, most of the other yo-yos you're going to get are going to be dead smooth at that price range, including other recesses like the Komodo. So I'd say if there's a con, that's really probably the only one. Everything else is at least good, if not great. Spin times are great, control is great, stability is great, design is great, looks great, play is great. You know, other than that, it's great. But you know, let me know what you think. Do you have a Recess Diplomat? Have you played one? Tell me down in the comments. What do you think about it? I think it's pretty cool. I dig it a lot. I think Recess does a good job with stuff. I like their team a lot. I like their players. I like their philosophy towards yo-yoing and the yo-yo community, constantly trying to grow it. Like I said, Tyler Severance is out there, and his players are out there starting yo-yo clubs and going to schools and showing people how to yo-yo and doing lots of great stuff. So, you know, shout out to Recess. Those guys are great. And I know they just had a really good showing over at Mid-Atlantic Regionals up in King of Prussia. PA, and John Wolf won first place for 5A. Kai Zizin won second place in 1A, and I think Andrew Bergen won first place in 1A. So they had a pretty good showing over there at MAR over in King of Prussia, PA. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers to you, and we will see you next time.